The winter of 1962-63, known as the Big Freeze, stands as the UK's ultimate benchmark for cold and hardship. It's a season that has become almost legendary, a chilling chapter in British history that still echoes through the decades. For many, it's a story passed down from parents and grandparents, a time when the country was brought to a standstill by relentless cold. For more than 2 months, the nation was gripped by an unyielding freeze. Villages were cut off from the outside world. Roads disappeared beneath towering drifts, and rivers that had flowed for centuries froze solid. Cars vanished under blankets of snow, and daily routines were upended as people struggled to keep warm and find food. The landscape itself was transformed, with familiar places rendered unrecognizable beneath layers of ice and snow. Even now, whenever weather forecasts hint at a colder-than-average winter, memories of 1963 resurface in the national conversation. People wonder, could we ever see a winter like that again? The Big Freeze has become a reference point, a ghost that haunts every chilly forecast, fueling both anxiety and fascination. As we approach the winter of 2025-26, with early signals suggesting a colder season ahead, it's more important than ever to understand what led to that legendary freeze. By looking back, we can better prepare for what might be coming, and separate genuine risk from mere rumor. The Big Freeze began just after Christmas, when a stubborn high-pressure system settled over Scandinavia. This weather pattern dragged frigid Siberian air across the UK, plunging temperatures and setting the stage for weeks of snow and ice. It was a perfect storm of meteorological events, and its impact was felt in every corner of the country. In this video, we'll break down the forecast for the coming winter, examining it month by month. We'll compare the latest data and predictions to the epic cold of 1963, exploring the similarities and differences in the patterns we're seeing today. Our goal is simple: to separate fact from folklore, and to help you understand whether the UK is facing just another cold snap, or if we could be on the brink of something far more significant. Join us as we uncover the science, the stories, and the truth behind the ghost of the Big Freeze. The buzz about a 1963-style winter for 2025-26 comes from real signals in long-range weather models. Meteorologists are watching a potentially weak polar vortex and a confirmed La Niña event, two factors that historically raise the odds of severe cold. A weak vortex can unleash Arctic air into Europe, while La Niña often blocks mild Atlantic weather, opening the door to frigid blasts. This rare combination is why forecasters are drawing comparisons to past severe winters. The question isn't if the ingredients are present, but whether they'll combine to deliver a historic freeze, or just a few cold snaps. All eyes are on how these patterns play out as winter deepens. To understand this winter's forecast, we look to the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, a region that holds the key to many of the world's most influential climate events. Every few years, subtle changes in the Pacific's surface temperatures can set off a chain reaction, rippling across continents and shaping weather patterns thousands of miles away. Right now, La Niña is underway, a climate phenomenon marked by cooler-than-average waters in the central and eastern Pacific. This cooling isn't just a local event. It's a powerful force that can influence weather across the globe. When La Niña cools these vast ocean regions, it shifts the position of the jet stream, a fast-moving ribbon of air high above the Earth. This shift can alter storm tracks, rainfall patterns, and even the intensity of winter weather in far-off places, including Europe and the UK. For the UK, La Niña often means that high-pressure systems block the usual flow of mild, moist Atlantic air. Instead, this opens the door for colder Arctic or continental air to sweep in, bringing the potential for frosty mornings, icy winds, and even snow. This year's La Niña is considered weak, which makes its impact less predictable. But even a weak La Niña can tip the balance, nudging the atmosphere toward patterns that favor colder spells or sudden changes in weather. Historically, La Niña winters in the UK have been a mixed bag. Some years bring cold snaps and heavy snowfall, while others remain relatively mild and wet. The variability is part of what makes forecasting so challenging and so fascinating. One important link is that La Niña increases the odds of sudden stratospheric warming events. These dramatic temperature spikes high above the Arctic can disrupt the polar vortex, sending frigid air plunging southward and sometimes triggering severe cold spells in the UK and Europe. So while La Niña doesn't guarantee a big freeze, it does tilt the odds toward colder, blockier weather patterns. It's like adding a few extra cold cards to the deck, making chilly spells more likely, but not certain. As we look ahead to the coming season, La Niña stands as a key background player, quietly shaping the stage for whatever winter has in store. The dice are loaded in favor of colder weather, but the outcome is never set in stone. This winter we'll be watching closely to see how La Niña's influence unfolds. High above the Arctic, the polar vortex acts as a gatekeeper, trapping the coldest air at the pole. When strong, it keeps the UK mild. When weak or disrupted, often nudged by La Niña, it can spill frigid air south. The most dramatic disruption is sudden stratospheric warming, which can collapse the vortex and unleash weeks of cold. This winter, models predict a weaker than normal vortex, especially early in the season. That raises the odds of a cold outbreak, with a 60–75% chance of SSW during La Niña years. The polar vortex is the wild card. Its fate could decide if January brings a true deep freeze. Watch for signs of its collapse as the season unfolds. The stakes are high for the UK's winter weather. Winter 2025-26 starts with familiar mild, wet weather. Atlantic storms dominate early December. But as Christmas approaches, high pressure builds, blocking the Atlantic and bringing clearer skies and colder air. This shift marks a turning point. Frosty nights, crisp days, and a taste of real winter. Fog could disrupt travel, and rural areas will see the sharpest frosts. Still, this late December chill is just a prelude. The real test comes in January. The high pressure sets the stage, but true Arctic air hasn't arrived yet. December ends with a hint of what's possible, not the main event. The scene is set for a potentially dramatic turn as the new year begins. January 2026 is the month to watch. Models agree it's the peak risk for severe cold. A blocking high over Scandinavia could cut off the Atlantic, letting Arctic or Siberian air flood the UK. If a sudden stratospheric warming hits, it could lock in a deep freeze for weeks. Expect sharp frosts, daytime temperatures barely above freezing, and a real risk of disruptive snow, especially in the east and south. The severity and duration are uncertain. It could be a few cold snaps or a sustained freeze. All the ingredients for a memorable winter are in place. January could deliver the kind of cold that defines a season. As February 2026 arrives, the forecast grows murkier. If January's block holds, cold could persist into early February. But La Niña often flips late in winter, letting the Atlantic bring milder, wetter weather. February may become a battleground, lingering cold from the east versus resurgent mild air from the west. By March, conditions should return to neutral, but late snow is still possible. Even if February turns milder, winter's not over. Cold snaps can linger into early spring. The odds of a 1963-style freeze fade as the season advances. A white Christmas is a national dream, but it's rare. Most years the UK is too mild and dry for snow on December 25th. This year, high pressure brings frosty mornings and festive chill, but also dry air, so widespread snow is unlikely. There's a slim chance of winter showers in eastern Scotland or northern England if winds turn northerly. Most will see a cold, crisp, dry Christmas, perfect for a walk, but not a snowman. The last widespread white Christmas was 2010, also a La Niña year. While the setup is similar, the forecast doesn't point to a repeat. For most, it'll be a classic winter's day, just without the magical blanket of snow. The real action is likely to come after the holidays. When we compare the upcoming winter of 2025-26 to the legendary Big Freeze of 1962-63, we find a fascinating mix of similarities and striking differences. Both winters have captured the public imagination, but the context and the climate have shifted in important ways. In both cases, meteorologists point to blocking high-pressure systems and a weakened polar vortex as the main drivers behind the cold. These atmospheric patterns act like a gate, allowing frigid Arctic air to spill southward over the UK, setting the stage for wintry conditions. However, the winter of 1962-63 was truly exceptional. The freeze gripped the nation for more than 2 months, with relentless snow and ice transforming daily life. Rivers froze, transport ground to a halt, and communities were isolated by deep drifts. This year, while some computer models suggest the potential for significant cold, the expectation is for shorter, sharper cold snaps, most likely concentrate in January rather than a season-long siege. Another key difference is the backdrop of a warmer modern climate. Today, even when Arctic air arrives, it's not quite as bitter as it was 60 years ago. The baseline temperature is higher, so snow and ice may not linger as long, and thaws are more frequent. While extreme cold spells are still possible, the odds of breaking all-time low temperature records are much slimmer. We may see frosty mornings and icy nights, but the kind of deep, persistent freeze that defined 1963 is far less likely in today's climate. Still, the UK should be ready for a winter that's colder than average, with a real risk of disruptive cold snaps and snowfall. Localized travel problems, school closures, and power interruptions are all possible, especially if snow coincides with busy periods. But a months-long landscape-altering freeze like the one in 1963 is highly unlikely. Instead, we're more likely to see a patchwork of wintry weather, brief intense cold followed by milder spells and rapid thaws. The ghost of 1963 may still haunt the forecast, serving as a reminder of what's possible, but the odds of a true repeat are slim. The climate has changed and so have our winters. So while it's wise to stay prepared for proper winter weather, stocking up on essentials, checking heating and planning for icy roads, there's no need to expect a return of history's coldest chapter. This winter will write its own story, shaped by today's climate and tomorrow's surprises.